Okay, so isekai and apparently tokusatsu, which is not a new word, but like Kamen Rider and Power Rangers, like the toku genre.
Oh, it's just there's no other word to describe it, I guess. So that's the word that we adopt.
Yeah,
but it's like such an iconic thing, right?
Yeah, but the the main one that we were just talking about right before the stream started, isekai.
Isekai, yeah.
Literally another world. Though I hate it when people use this for fantasy, but we'll get into that at some point. But
for fantasy.
Well, for people who don't know, basically. But anyway, isekai was added to the Oxford English Dictionary as of March 2024, along with tokusatsu and apparently 23 other Japanese words, or at least among 23 other Japanese words.
Last month.
Just last month. I don't know what the other Japanese words were, but isekai apparently was the one.
I'm so curious now. I want to see all 23.
Let me
cool,
see.
Though. I don't take it as any kind of pressure to immediately look it up.
Well, I mean, I just did
I'm very curious.
I just did a quick Google search. Anyway, before we get into that, hey everyone, welcome to another night of Mahjong, and this time we have one of the people who we started this. Well, it's not really a podcast. I call it a podcast, but it's probably not really a podcast after listening to so many.
If you call it a podcast long enough, it becomes a podcast.
I guess so. I feel like there's also there's some. Apparently, there's also some like one-person podcasts that are only like 5 minutes long, and
that seems like a podcast.
I mean, there's one Japanese listening podcast that I was trying to. I was looking for Japanese listening podcasts, and apparently it's like done by only one person, and it's like slow Japanese kind of thing. And,
that's good.
And each one is like 5 to 20 minutes long, but I don't think they're like talking with other people. It's more like scenarios and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which I guess that kind of podcast also exists, but the podcast that most people are used to is like have a group of people, have people chat amongst each other, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's the typical podcast, but apparently there's also other ones. Which at this point, I mean, which at this point, it's like, isn't podcast just like internet radio?
That's exactly what I was gonna say. So I just think of a podcast as online broadcast, and when I used to listen to the old publicly funded, like kind of artsy radio, there would be those solo people who just talked about poetry or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
for their little like segment, Yeah. I think it doesn't matter how many people we have, but yeah, like we're the originators.
Yeah, I forgot.
I mean, you're the originator,
well,
but there were 3 of us at the very beginning.
I just kind of like, what do you call it, segged into that, but I think we need to introduce you properly. Please introduce yourself.
Oh. Hi, I'm Eimi. I'm an English as a second language teacher, moonlighting as a VTuber occasionally. But mostly I'm in the VTube scene as a rigger. But my main focus right now is more like teaching side, so I haven't been around that much, which is why it's so great to be back.
When was the last time?
Because it's been a long time.
When was the last time that you've been in a stream or a video or anything
Here
like that?
Together. We have those guys. You can all look at our old videos back when I was moving around and such.
Yeah, I don't move around much either these days.
Yeah, I think you get tired of moving around.
I mean, that's
relax.
The older you get, the less you want to move around. I feel like, but
yeah.
No. I know
it's gotta be a year.
That's actually, well, I mean, that's kind of not what I do. I do want to go out, But the thing is, the place I am at right now just sucks so bad. I don't want to go out here. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess okay. Yeah, like what I'm picking up is if you just walk out onto the street, you're like not intrigued, right, by anything.
Not really. I mean, I guess where I used to live was better, and I did go out occasionally over there, but I don't even go out for food here. You know what I mean? It's that bad. I want to leave so badly, but I can't leave for... The original plan was to leave later this year, but I might have to stay for another year.
Oh, okay.
And I don't want to. And that realization is, well, my contract technically ends this year, but
okay.
But it's not like I have to. So here's the way. When I say contract, it's more like the contract holding me here. So because I mean they paid a bunch of what do you call it, sign-on bonuses and stuff, which is not insignificant. And if I leave earlier than the contract says, I have to pay those sign-on bonuses back.
Ooh, no, I would keep the bonus.
Yeah,
keep the bonuses.
So I have to stay until at least that time
100%, yeah.
before I can leave, and which is like later this year. Originally, I was going to leave when that happened because I just don't like this place that much, among other things. But looking at several things, finances and such, and would it be better to stay another year to be able to accomplish some things? And I'm kind of like, I might have to. I'm not thrilled about that. I have to make a decision within the next couple of months whether or not I'm actually going to leave or not, but it's like leaning towards begrudgingly having to stay.
Yeah.
It's kind of thing.
I've been there. I mean, not in the same kind of dilemma, I think, because the choices I was making when I was choosing between renewing a contract and not were like both okay, I guess. But like I leave that kind of thing up until the last minute, which is not good.
Well,
I'm always, so I totally get it that you're struggling a little bit.
Well, I mean, the reason why I have to like do it in the next couple of months is because gotta get those plane tickets to Japan.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, you don't want to get a plane ticket to Japan in like a week. That's just not good. I can still use like travel points and stuff like that, so that's not a huge issue. But still, you still don't want to do that because you still have to at least get reservations for hotels and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you're going on a 3-month trip, you still need to get some reservations in line, at least 1 month at a time and stuff.
But also the exchange rate is good right now.
It's really good, but that's not the issue.
It's very favorable. No, but like all of these things together.
No,
I don't know.
I get
it was just mentioned. It was mentioned in class today, not today, this week.
Yeah.
Someone was like, the yen is very weak right now. Or, yeah, the yen is very weak. And you guys with your American dollars could benefit, but...
Everyone can benefit. It's not just the American dollars.
I guess so.
But American dollars more so than other ones, I think.
American dollars more so than Canadian dollars.
Yeah, more than that. I guess if you're in like the UK, you also benefit. Just anything with a strong exchange rate, right? So, but I mean, even that aside, let's just say the exchange rate doesn't change for a year, which some people have said it doesn't. It's probably not going to change that much in a year with how things are going. But it's kind of like it's more like a logistical thing for me.
Yeah, okay.
That I'm having to struggle with, finances aside, which is not terrible, but it wouldn't hurt to, load up some powder for at least another year before I go do other things and try to
The powder.
Well, I don't know how else to say it. I don't want to say the other word just because it's a little bit.
Anyway, I think though, what if you just like try to find a few places kind of close to you that you do want to go to, like even just one place that you go to like once a week. Like if you could find a place that was like a really good Japanese restaurant or like a really neat game store or something like that, it might make you feel like you're kind of having fun where you are. I don't know. Does that make sense?
I've tried.
You've tried?
I've tried.
No, is there nothing around you?
There is a ramen shop that is not too bad, all things considered. But and I would actually recommend going to it if you were in the area. But the thing is, it's like it's so expensive. Like and it's not, I don't feel it's worth going there because one, expense, two, it's very much a Chinese style ramen shop rather than a Japanese style ramen shop. I mean, with the flavor alone, it's you can tell the difference, which is not bad. I do like it because of that, but it's expensive.
The expensive part I do not like. The expensive part would make me not go. But I will say, hey, when I was in Japan, the authentic Chinese ramen shops were the places to go.
Yeah, I haven't found one in Japan yet, but I've gone to.
I was in a small town, so.
Yeah, I've gone to plenty of other ramen shops in Japan, and varying degrees of good. I mean, I've started to realize there's varying degrees of good ramen and okay ramen. I haven't had the bad ramen yet, though I did get a standing soba one time, and I was still thankful for even the standing soba because it hit the spot at the time. But it's not like something you would get regularly, I feel like.
Every time I've had standing soba, it's been like very cheap and very much like close to what you expect for that price, and very, very welcome.
It is,
because it's always been just there when you need it.
it's technically under 500 yen. It's like really cheap, either udon or soba, like the thinnest the thinnest noodles you could ever
the thinnest broth
the thinnest broth
you can find,
and like the pre-made fried topping, because all these standing eating noodle places are basically found typically in the train stations, right? And
the one that I went to is right on the platform.
Yeah, though they are.
It was like an emergency every time.
It's basically.
And they came through.
It's basically emergency food. It's basically emergency food. They don't make anything fresh there. Everything is like pre-packaged, and they just basically warm everything up so that it's ready to go. But for the price and what you get, it's actually not bad.
Great. Good. I like it a lot. I miss those prices because here, oh my gosh, here in Canada, ramen is the fanciest thing ever, and costs you like $20 once you pay a tip. That's Canadian, so.
Well, I mean,
like nothing.
$20. I mean, more than.
It's like $15 including tax, but then you're expected to pay a 20% tip. So like, you know.
I never pay the tip.
I always pay the tip.
I am terrible. I do not. I'm one of those people who don't believe in paying the tip, and.
I know. I get it.
It's like I get it. I'm gonna be admonished by people who say that, but that's where their income comes from, and I say they shouldn't. They shouldn't.
It shouldn't be allowed.
It should not be allowed. That's why I refuse to pay it.
It's not their fault, which is why I do pay it. But at the same time, I feel bad for perpetuating it, and all of my students are shocked when they come to North America, because in Europe, it's like not the way it is here.
Yeah.
And in Australia, it's not even in Australia, like another English-speaking country, it wasn't. In Japan, there's no such thing.
It's only in North America minus Mexico.
Yeah, it's only our two countries.
It's only the US and Canada.
It's only us being annoying for the rest of the world.
Mainly the U.S. and for some reason Canada picked it up. I don't know why. You don't have Canada doesn't have to do it. You don't have to be the little brother. You don't have to do it. But you do anyway.
Say we don't have to be the little brother, but when you are the little brother, it's too late.
It's annoying.
But we expect restaurants expect customers to tip 20%, and at specific restaurants where it's like ultimate capitalism in effect, everyone will get docked.
Here's the thing. I don't think, at least most Asian restaurants I go to don't expect that and don't typically ask for it.
Yeah, maybe not.
But
my sister worked in restaurants, and unfortunately, in Canadian restaurants, it happens a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in any other restaurant that's yes, you see it a lot, and I still refuse to pay it unless I'm forced to. Unless I'm forced to, it's kind of like, okay, fine.
But I don't pay a tip if I don't feel like I have to. So if I don't get table service, like if I walk up to the cash register, pay and get my food, then I'm like, this is not a tipping situation.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? So even though I do feel bad and I tip in the places where I know they're expecting it really hard, mostly out of guilt, I draw a line.
Yeah. Hello, morning, Al-san. Good morning.
Good morning. Is it morning? Oh my gosh!
Well, hi, gozaimasu. Yeah. So right now we just kind of got into this talking mode, but it's like.
Oh yeah. Should we boot up a game? Give me a link.
Well, we don't have do we have people yet? I mean, I could.
Should we beat up an AI?
I could like warm up in ranked or something, or we can just do a friendly match. Which country is this?
You should just do ranked.
This is the US/Canada.
Yes, I'm the Canadian representative.
Yeah. So, ego. Well, what I mean, I want to say that English is mainly spoken here, but if you speak another language, that's okay. That's okay. There's ways around it. There's ways around it. But I see
both hiragana and a lot of kanji in the name that almost look like kanji. Oh,
yeah.
US good. What day and time now? What day and time is it for you?
It is Friday. Friday in my time zone, 9:20 p.m. In Eimi's, it's a little bit like.
It's 6:20. It's early.
I'm ahead of you.
Yes, it is early in the evening.
5 languages.
5 languages. No problem here then. No problems here, guys.
I'm gonna go ahead and start a room.
Yeah.
Just so we have one going. But
Saturday 8:20.
Yeah. So basic. Oh wait. Well, wait. How do we do this? Copy a link.
It's the weekend. Oh my god! Thank goodness.
Okay, so basically, if you're new here, this is basically a podcast with Mahjong in the background. We still play the Mahjong. We play Mahjong with chat. If there's no chat, I play in ranked. We do have Eimi this time. And
I'm gonna give you a challenge.
What?
Maybe.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, we basically I encourage anyone in chat to like bring us an interesting story that happened to them or something they just want to talk about, and we go from there. Otherwise, we will talk about stuff randomly, like isekai getting added to the Oxford Dictionary along with other words, and also my woes. Apparently, for some reason, my woes are a hot topic, and whenever this
I like hearing your woes.
How do you...
Not that I want you to have woes. I want you to let them out. I want this to be cathartic for you.
It's not cathartic for me. I don't even know what that means.
It's not.
How do you remember Mahjong Yaku?
Cathartic is like, does it help you relieve it to like say it out loud?
It helps me relieve it, but it doesn't mean. Do I want the world to know about my problems? I don't know. some problems I'm okay.
airing
Some problems I'm okay to air, but otherwise, let's add the AI for now,
Yay!
and then we'll continue. But yeah.
How do you? I do not remember Mahjong Yaku.
I remember 1 and 2 point Yakus, but I don't, and some Yakuman, but I don't remember the weird ones in between. Popular in the US? Actually, it's maybe not popular, but there's definitely a decent amount of people in Western countries that know and actually like Mahjong. I've been playing Mahjong for over 10 years now, so it's been a while for me.
I've only been playing since I started Mahjong Soul a couple of years ago when you introduced me. But my grandma, like my early childhood memories, were my grandma playing Mahjong with her friends.
Yeah, the Mahjong
with
she
her
plays,
Filipino friends.
The Mahjong she plays is Filipino Mahjong probably, and
is there like
there's regional.
Is there a specific Filipino Mahjong?
It's either that or they like play a Chinese, the Chinese rule set. But I don't know if there's a specific Filipino Mahjong. I know there's like multiple different Mahjong. So you have, even within China, there's like mainland China Mahjong, and then there's Hong Kong Mahjong, and then there's Taiwanese Mahjong. Of course, the one Mahjong that everyone plays is Japanese Mahjong, because the rules there at least make sense compared to all the other rules in the world.
I thought they were quite, but like in Lichi, isn't it kind of like more extensive in terms of how many Yaku there are or something? I thought it was supposed to be more complicated, but maybe I'm wrong.
I think Riichi Mahjong is probably the most complicated, but it's also the most strategic. So there's that. Because I mean, in most other Mahjong rules, correct me if I'm wrong, for anyone who knows, there is no organized discard thing like we have right now. It just kind of goes in the middle in a pile, and even if you
really?
Yeah, and if you discard something, you can still call a win on that if it comes up again. So there's several ways to get a hand, but I don't think the scoring is as strict. Oh wow, that was fast.
Yeah, 2,000 points, baby.
Yeah, it's it gets weird.
I take a little bit of where I can.
Ohayo gozaimasu.
Good morning.
Sansan.
No, Sansan? Kawa.
No, wait, no, that's an actual circle. What? I've never seen an actual circle in Japanese. That can't be right. Been to Oklahoma? I've actually never been to Oklahoma, but Texas is right below Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, that's so nice.
That's like
my image of.
No, Oklahoma's like the most random place you can probably mention. Well, it's either that or whatever city in the Midwest, like in North Dakota and South Dakota, because no one goes there.
But I have kind of a romantic image of Oklahoma. Because of the musical, maybe.
I actually don't know that musical.
Okay, do you know Hugh Jackman? Who plays Wolverine in X-Men?
Oh, is that his name?
That's Hugh Jackman.
Okay, I did not know that
was you know that actor, right?
Yes, I recognize him by face.
Yeah, and he's like in Greatest Showman, which is a musical, but like that musical that came out recently, like it's not even that recent. It was like a huge surprise for a lot of people, but actually he had a musical theater background, and there's a clip of him singing in Oklahoma, like way back before he was ever a movie star, because he was a stage actor.
That is so weird.
But it's like a romantic idea, you know, the South, the like. But how did you like Oklahoma? Oh, I can't even see. I'm like trying not to look at Ruka's.
You can pop out the chat.
I have the chat. I'm also trying to concentrate, but let me see.
I am not concentrating. Can you tell? So I've never heard of that company before, no. I actually don't know any oil companies except for the big ones. Shell, BP, what else is there? Some other ones.
Is is it an oil-rich area?
Texas is...
Oklahoma?
I don't know if Oklahoma is specifically, but around the panhandle of Texas, as I guess also including the panhandle of Oklahoma, there are oil fields there. Oil rich, questionable, but maybe back in the day it was. When you talk about Texas, there's oil obviously on Texas soil, but there's also the offshore rigging, which is probably the bigger source of oil. Oklahoma, the only thing I know about Oklahoma is nothing, actually. I was about to say like something
musical.
I was about to say like the reservations, but that's about it. And tornadoes.
Everywhere.
Tornadoes are another thing.
Oh, tornadoes.
Well, yeah, Texas is also part of Tornado Alley, but I think Oklahoma, Nebraska, around there. Tornado Alley. But I've never actually seen a tornado in my entire life, despite being...
Oh no! Oh, it's not me. Oh no for you.
Oh no for me. I still haven't recovered from my D ranking from the last time.
Wait, what's your rank right now?
Adept 1, and I am around 240. Let me double check. 230. I was recovering, and then I got... What happened? Oh yeah, I was recovering, and then I got hit 4th place. No, wait, that's friendly matches. 3rd place. 3rd place ain't bad. But I got hit a lot before I recovered, and then not so recovered. I'm trying to get the feel for reading tiles again, because most of the time I don't even take the matches that we do on stream seriously, because for me it's not a serious affair. I just play because I want to play.
Yeah, okay, yes. In the chat, AL-san, 100%. I'm just here to chat with you guys. Like, that's what Grandma's Mahjong night was too. Like, they were just playing with quarters, I think.
No, that wasn't my grandma when she played Mahjong.
Oh, really? Was she playing with, like, bills? Was she, throwing down bills?
I don't know, and I've never seen her play. No, I lied. I probably saw the tail end of her playing. But I also hear that she raked in some cash during those times, and it's not a small amount.
Dang, Grandma.
Maybe it's not a gigantic amount, but it's also not a small amount.
Yeah.
I don't know the details.
I mean, that's like it's like poker night or something. But like my grandma was just playing with quarters, but they were just there for the gossip, and that's why I'm like, Ruka, tell me your woes. Tell me your woes. That's why I'm at Mahjong. I just want to be a grandma.
Aren't you a grandma?
I'm an auntie. You can call me auntie.
Okay, fine.
I'm not at grandma level yet.
No, not yet. We don't.
Call me Tita. Wait, is Tita auntie?
Yes.
Yeah, you can call me Tita, but not grandma, please.
Likewise, do not ever call me daddy or dad or anything like that.
Oh
no! Uncle is fine. Uncle is fine.
Uncle, I like uncle.
I've never been. I don't think anyone actually tried calling me daddy on stream before. But if it ever comes up, I refuse it.
I mean, like I have to accept a little bit of the mama, because in Live 2D. You are different. Papa. It's different. It's different. If that that's why it feels fine to me. But if someone were just like, "Hey, Mama," I don't know. It doesn't even sound that bad. Daddy sounds weird for some reason.
Well, it became weird. It didn't used to be, but now whenever someone says that, you kind of get the sugar. You get the sugar daddy imagery, and that's what makes it weird.
Yeah. Oh, Ruka, how did you get started playing Mahjong?
Is that what you meant? Because I wasn't quite sure how to interpret that sentence.
No, I'm changing topics now because I just looked at the chat.
No, but I did read that, but I wasn't sure how to interpret it. if we're talking about how we got started playing Mahjong, I think it was because. Now, how did it start? I know it started because.
No, I'm sorry. I was shocked by the number for a second
It's
there.
not a Ron, so don't be too shocked.
Okay.
If it was a Ron, that would be painful.
Okay.
Sumo.
Then I had a knee-jerk reaction.
Sumo, and also that was me sumoing in Furi 10. So double whammy there. Anyway, starting with Mahjong.
Sorry, Uncle.
As far as the actual starting with Mahjong, I remember watching Akagi, and I got my start with Mahjong over there. And also I used to play on Tenho when Tenho was the only Mahjong website available. But as far as how, tenho.net.
Tenho.net.
Check it out. It's very bare bones.
Oh, okay.
It's Japanese only.
Is it like super serious and intense though?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Too scary. No. I feel more comfortable with the anime girls.
It's like
I feel comfy here.
It's basically, I feel like it's professional players over there. Professional players or really super high level players only use that these days, and not Mahjong. So it's more of a general crowd here.
Yeah.
This and Reichi City are a general crowd, but Tenho is like super, what do you call this? Super serious. They even have what do you call this? They even have like, in Mahjong Soul you have adept, novice, and expert and all that stuff. They have like Dan rankings, like you would have for karate.
And Go, because I used to read Hikaru no Go. Do you know that manga? Hikaru no Go.
I know the manga. I haven't read it.
Oh my god, it's my favorite manga, I think. But that manga got a lot of people into Go.
Yeah.
Ego. And I was also into it too. So I totally understand what you like. I don't know, when you watch an anime, seeing them explain it and you feel like you kind of get it, then you get into it a little bit, right?
Yeah. It depends though on the anime, because there's several Mahjong.
If it's a good anime.
There's several Mahjong anime, okay? There's several Mahjong anime. One of the earlier ones before even Akagi apparently was the excuse me. Even before Akagi was apparently this thing, this series called, what was it? Not 10. Crap, I forgot the name already. It was mentioned somewhere else, but there was another series before Akagi that did Mahjong, and then Akagi I think was the next major one that at least got some Western anime people interested in Mahjong.
Yeah.
And then I think for the longest time there was no Mahjong related media anime wise until Saki, and Saki is not a good anime to learn Mahjong from.
Oh really? Wait, it's not a good anime for what?
To learn Mahjong. It's good.
It's not accurate.
It's good to watch. It's fun to watch.
Oh, okay.
But I do not recommend learning from it because one, it's basically magic Mahjong. Whenever I mention Saki on this channel, I always say it's magic Mahjong because the odds for getting any hand is like ridiculous, and they'll always get it because they have this weird skill or passive or what magic powers, because apparently magic exists over there, and that's how they materialize the hand. There's some normal people that get around that, but still. But in general,
simple.
It's not easy. It's not something I would recommend learning from. I think there's another Mahjong anime that showed up recently called Pon no Michi. I haven't watched it.
The Road to Pon.
Yeah, Pon no Michi. Yeah. But I think it's less of a Mahjong anime and more like a slice of life anime that just has Mahjong in it. Like Kaiji shows up for some reason, I don't know why. He shows up in there.
Okay, so but like the anime intrigued you.
Akagi did,
Akagi.
yeah. So Akagi is actually not a bad anime to learn Mahjong from, but however, I say that with quotes because Akagi is Yakuza Mahjong. And when I say Yakuza Mahjong, there is a lot of cheating happening.
But
But
is it an excellent anime to get motivated to start playing Mahjong from?
I think for certain people, yes. It's not cute anime. It's not cute in any sense. It is very much hardcore, gritty. And if you want to learn how to
Sounds cool.
if you want to learn how to like bluff people in real life, or at least I don't think it works so well online, but if you want to learn how to bluff people in real life in Mahjong and intimidate them, that is the anime to watch because there is a lot. I mean, there's a lot of psychology, and you can probably carry some of that online, but it's a little bit harder to do. But it's good. It's good if you like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Especially if you like the the Yakuza kind of stuff. It's there. Streamer taught you Mahjong.
Ah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of ways to get into it. To me, it's just a nice thing to relax to. Even though I whenever I do ranked, I kind of like, why am I losing all my hands? And it's a pain in the butt. Ooh.
No! I revealed everything, and then everything was taken from me by someone who didn't reveal anything.
Not
and
bad.
I feel so dumb.
Hey, if you got hit by me, you would also.
Nice.
I think you would have gotten hit by 12,000.
Really? Oh my god.
Oh, congratulations. Yeah, I think
well deserved.
I had 2 Dora and Tanya. Oh, that's just 3. That's just 3. Congratulations!
I was like,
I'm gonna kick the AI out.
Yeah, kick this AI out.
If anyone else wants to join, you can add the room number over here, or you can click the link over here. Either one. We're gonna give it a.
That's the beauty of the game.
Yeah, we're gonna give it a little bit before we start the next game. But yeah, let me just go back to the Oxford Dictionary thing because I was kind of curious about it.
Oh yeah, what are the 23 Japanese terms?
So isekai we've mentioned already. We also mentioned tokusatsu, which how would you describe tokusatsu for anyone who's not familiar with it?
No, I don't know. I honestly do. I can.
I think
because to me it's just like a word that I don't know that well.
Isn't toku also just used in general for live action stuff? Or is it just specifically like the superhero shows?
Toku is just special.
Toku special?
It's like special effects.
Special effects.
Like special effects.
Okay. I didn't realize. Okay, so I guess special effects are made.
It honestly means like tokusatsu is just like an effects film.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
I guess. Or like I didn't really realize that either, but
it's weird with Japanese because you have a lot of words that sound exactly the same until you write it down in kanji, there is an ambiguity. Like I was going through my wanikani lessons earlier, and I think I've run into the same word kaeru 4 or 5 times with 4 or 5 different kanji.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
There's kaeru to go back, to return, right? And apparently that one has 2 or 3 different kanji associated with that just alone.
Yeah.
And there's another kaeru, which means to change something, and it uses the kanji for hen, strange.
Yeah.
So it's like, which one are we talking about? I guess it makes sense in context, but which one
But
are we
it's all
talking
in context.
about? It's all in context.
Okay, so just to give everyone context for what I'm about to say, I'm an English language teacher, right?
Yes.
So today we had a game. I had them play a game because it's Friday for the last hour of a 3-hour class, and we were supposed to give. So and there's a word that's spelled LEAD, right?
Which one? LEAD?
Yeah.
How do we L?
So what's the meaning of that word? LEAD in English.
Let me write it down so I actually know what the heck I'm talking about.
Yeah. I'll give you a hint. It could be either lead or lead or lead.
Okay.
Or lead, right?
You have to excuse me.
So what does it mean?
Right?
Totally. I totally get it, right?
Yeah.
But this is my point, right? It's language is confusing and it is dumb. So what does LEAD mean? If someone writes it down on the board and they're like, "What's this?" and they're like, "Well, do you mean what? In what context?"
Yes.
And then when would you say lead? When would you say lead? And it all depends on context.
It depends on context. I think lead, as a verb, lead is to...
Lead is present tense.
Lead is present tense. Lead
as a metal is spelled the same way.
Lead as a metal is spelled the same way. But if you're talking about past tense of lead, it's lead without the A. Right.
Exactly. And this was the conversation in my class. And they were like, "Well, that's dumb." And I'm like, "Yeah, it is dumb."
Well,
because we have multiple words that sound like lead, and we have multiple words that are spelled like this, but sometimes it's lead and sometimes it's lead. So which is it? And I'm like, it all depends on context.
It depends on context, but at least in English, context aside, it's two different pronunciations for the same word. But
lead, the metal, is totally different from "I led you to victory."
It is a totally
or
different
"I lead
word.
you to victory."
It is a totally different word. True. But my point is, though, in Japanese...
Yeah, I get it, though.
Because in Japanese, there's not as many ways to pronounce things. You only have so many... I think the technical term is phonemes or something like that. Correct?
Yes, exactly. Or phonemes. Yep.
Phonemes, or...
There really aren't as many phonemes.
English has thousands of ways you can say words, and thousands of different ways you can pronounce things, but in Japanese it's less than 200 or something like that. And then you have to somehow mishmash those 160 pronunciations into different words, and which leads to a lot more homophones than English or any other language seems to have.
It really is.
It's mainly an issue with that. But if you have it in writing, it's clearer. But the thing is, when you're talking with someone, it's highly contextual.
Yeah. That's what makes it hard, right? Everything is based on context. If it were just clear, if it were just everything is different, it would be easier to memorize.
Yes.
But no language is really like that.
No, I mean the thing you don't really run into in Japanese when you're learning it is the amount of homophones you run into. At least not until you start learning kanji. And then when you start learning kanji, it's wait, which one are we talking about? Which one are we talking about? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start the next game, and we can still keep chatting.
I totally get it though, but that is why I found kanji kind of interesting, and I feel like you approach kanji the way I was approaching it, and you're gonna be a good reader. I'm being super egotistical right now, but I was a really good reader when I was living in Japan. I was everybody's reader. Whenever someone was like, "I can converse in Japanese, but I can't read. Michelle, will you read this for me?" Oh, that was my name.
Well. It's not a secret.
Everyone knows my name.
Right.
Michelle, will you read this for me? You're going to be that person. Because I think Wanikani is a really good system as well. I didn't use it, but from what I've seen, I like it.
WaniKani probably didn't exist when. Did it exist when you when you started learning kanji and stuff like that?
It did not.
Yeah.
So I was using Heisigs, remembering the kanji, and everything that was based on that book, that physical paper book.
Right. So a lot of people also use Anki, which
I was using Anki. I was using Anki though.
I don't know. Does
people
Anki
had made decks?
Does Anki have like a way to see how well you memorize things as you go along?
It just has graphs. I love graphs.
Okay.
It just shows like how many words you've done, and I used it for years, and when you look at it, it's amazing to see the results. I don't know, but like the nice thing about it is it puts off things longer than something like what I like. A lot of the flashcards that I've used, they just bring things back like again and again and again, which is important if you need to study them. But if you know something really well, after you get it 4 or 5 times, Anki puts it off for like a year.
Okay, so it does use an SRS system. That's what I was trying to figure
It's like it is like the best SRS system that I've seen.
Okay.
Like, yeah, so everything that is kind of doing SRS is still not as good as Anki.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Okay. I guess oh, wow.
Oh!
AI is almost
a
dead.
brutal hit against the AI. Take that, robots.
Hello,
Give
Henrik.
me back my job.
Hello, Henrik. Welcome. I wasn't ignoring you. We just got caught up in the conversation. But in any case, yeah.
Anki is so good, though. I cannot emphasize enough. Like, I credit my ability to get like JLPT1.
Oh, you got 1.
To Anki. I have 3, 2, and 1.
I think we can just ignore the 3 and 2. You have 1.
But I got I got them all, is what I'm saying. Like, I didn't just like fluke out and get 1. I like worked my way.
Gotcha.
But Anki was my number 1 tool.
Right. And is Anki free?
Anki on Android was free. At the time, I had an iPhone and I paid $25. But if you use it on desktop, it's free.
It's still cheaper than WaniKani. But the thing with WaniKani is that they build you up, I think. So.
But what you do? Oh yeah.
I don't know how Anki does it. Do they build you up, or do they just introduce things randomly?
No, so it depends on the deck. So it's all community built. You know, it's all like user-made decks, but you find the decks that are based on these systems. So I would use the Remembering the Kanji decks. And then like, but you did have to use some like supplementary study guides or something. But if you were using that same kind of list, you could find something pretty easily. But it starts from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, it's in order.
Okay.
And then I would just say, give me like 20 a day. And then when I was studying for JLPT, I was like, give me 50 a day.
Gotcha.
But it was fine because my old cards weren't coming back for a year. Like the ones that I like shouldn't have bothered with, I didn't have to bother with.
Yeah, I guess I can kind of see now where WaniKani came from. I knew about Anki, but I didn't really try.
WaniKani 100% was based on this system.
Yeah,
but they did a good job, like for their.
I do like WaniKani because it does build you up. I do have to admit it's probably not perfect, especially with like giving you context with things, as well as helping you along with how to spell things, because it's kind of picky about that. But it's kind of what I started with, and I think it does a really good job with it, to be honest, with the way they do it.
You know, I think they're the smoothest way, because the way I was doing it was very much do it yourself, kind of like figure it out, because you had to like fiddle with so many settings.
Yes.
Or like you had to do your own research on the side, you know, and then if you did all of that extra stuff, this is a powerful tool. But if you just do wanikani, it's like a nice, smooth experience that I think is like, it's an evolution.
It does help a lot, especially if you don't know where to begin. I think the only downside for me is it's expensive compared to other options.
How much is it?
Well, I mean, if you pay for the... How much is it? Let me double check. It's definitely not as cheap as Anki, I can tell you that much. How much?
Anki can be 100% free depending on your phone. And even if you don't have the right phone to have it free, you can have it free on desktop. So, Alco Star. It's not Star. It's Alco Zar.
How much is one? I was like trying to find it, but can't find it.
N1 2 years before. Nice.
Okay.
My N1 is so freaking old, but it never expires.
Okay.
So, like, that's part of why I got it. Because, like, if it expired, I wouldn't have bothered, but it never expires.
Okay.
If I were a veterinarian, I could be a freaking veterinarian.
Okay, so
Sorry.
Wanikani, if you just do it monthly, is $9 a month. For a year, it's $89. If you what do you call it? If you like do a one-time payment, it's about $300. Though if you get it, if you wait until like around end of the year, they have a gigantic sale, and I think it's 50 or 66% off. So you can get it much cheaper. But it's not as cheap as, let's say, Anki is. But
as free.
But it does take a lot of now that you've explained to me how Anki works, it does take a lot of, I guess, work away from you, and then you only have to focus on the learning part.
Yeah. And I customized mine.
Yeah.
And I was so when I did it, actually, if I go even further back before Anki, I was using Kanji Kohi.
Kanji Kohi? I haven't heard of that one.
It's a website called Remembering the Kanji, but I think they changed it. Sorry, they called it Reviewing the Kanji. Because it was based on the book I talked about, which was Remembering the Kanji, but they didn't want to get sued. But then they just changed it to Kanji Kohi.
Okay, that's...
Because they were like, we don't want to get sued. Please don't sue us. The whole thing about that was it was SRS, and it was like an indie developer. He did the code on his website.
Uh-huh.
But the way that worked was... So in the book, there was like a story that Heisig had written for each kanji. For like the first chapter. For the first third. And then after that, he was like, now that you like know how radicals are and like how you can make them into stories, like try making your own. And then I was like, I'm not freaking making my own stories.
Yeah.
But remembering the kanji, aka Kanji Kohi, has user submitted stories which are voted up or down. And so like nice. That is actually like I switched to Anki because I wanted more control, but that website was really good, but you just have to be prepared for bizarro stories.
Honestly,
but bizarro stories bizarro stories help you. So like the person, you know, like Hitohen, like the person on the left, the skinny like left side person kanji, the radical.
Yeah.
In remembering the kanji, it was like some kind of person, who knows, but in the book remembering the kanji, in the paper book remembering the kanji, it was just like skinny person. And then like on the website remembering or reviewing the kanji Kohi, it was like Slender Man. It's the Slender Man, you know? Why not?
Why not?
It's the Slender Man. He's the skinny man on the side, you know? but you have to just be ready for bizarro stuff. Oh, I'm such a freaking simple, basic girl, but I get my points where I can, guys.
Excuse me. But yeah, no, I didn't know about all these options, to be honest. I don't know how I got started on WANEKANE. I think, how did I get started on it? I don't remember. I don't think anyone recommended it to me. I think I just ran into it somewhere, and it's like, okay, let's give this a try. And oh yeah, this is actually really useful. So keep going with it, and I was impressed by it. Chinese certification. I feel like Chinese is difficult for other reasons. It's like 100% kanji. Also, all the tones and stuff is weird. So
how many hanzi do you have to know?
I feel like it's a lot. I feel like it's a lot.
Because kanji in Japanese is like 2,000, but that's a drop in the bucket compared to what is out there.
Yeah. Man, I can't even imagine, because it's like all the blocky letters, and it's kind of like just runs all into each other. How are you supposed to read this thing? I don't know.
5,000.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, so double it. You thought it was bad? Double it.
Double it, and then have all the tones and stuff like that thrown in. And I suck at tones in general, so it's like, I meant this, but oh no, but you're saying this other thing. So that's, I feel like unless it's for business reasons, I just would not touch it personally. Japanese at least has a personal what do you call it? I have a personal interest in it because it'll make traveling a little bit easier. Can actually talk to the locals a little bit better, or at least listen in on the locals. I don't know if that's something I should be saying, but anyway.
No, I have Ruka.
Yeah.
You know how I've been saying, oh, I should learn Tagalog. Oh, I should learn Tagalog. But literally, the #1 reason to learn Tagalog is to eavesdrop on all the Filipinos that are around me all the time.
Oh yeah, like, they talk.
If I'm back home, it's like all the aunties like probably talking about me. But even if I'm in just like the city and working and stuff, there are Filipinos all around me, and I'm like, I hear all the words, I hear all the sounds that I know I should know, and I want to know what you're saying because I know it's gospel.
We'll toss a wrench into that, and there's going to be a random group out there that's not speaking in Tagalog. They'll probably speak in Bisaya or Ilonggo or.
My mom is Bisayan.
Yeah, I can understand. I can understand that. I can't speak a word of it. No, I tried to speak a word of it, but it's difficult to get it out.
Oh no! Stop it!
Don't worry. It's just a prick. It's just a prick.
Okay. But no, it's the best thing when my mom is around because she like has moved around. Oh, I still won.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
All right, let me kick this out. If anyone else wants to join, link is up. The room number is up.
But yeah, like my mom is the best person to have around because you're like, what are they saying? Because she speaks many dialects. Because she grew up in like Bisaya. She was born in Cebu, and then she like moved to Palawan, and then she went to Manila, and then she like picked up so many things. So I'm like, tell me, like, what are they saying? And like whatever dialect it is, she probably can hear a few choice tidbits of gossip.
Wait, don't they just speak Tagalog in Palawan, or no?
I don't know. Do they?
I would assume that it's not. They're far enough from the mainland that they don't. That they probably have their own dialect down
I feel
there.
like everyone speaks Tagalog, but everyone has their home language as well.
They do.
So I feel like everyone is like bilingual unless they're just like a city child who never learned anything else.
Which happens, to be honest. But I guess we're talking about Filipino dialects and stuff like that. I know Tagalog. I can barely speak it at a 3rd grade level.
Oh my god, if you were here, I'd be like, what are they saying?
I mean, I can
in the SkyTrain.
I can pick up stuff fairly decently, but I can't speak above a 3rd grade level. Bisaya, I can understand most of the things, but I can't speak it. So there's that issue.
Ilsan, thank you.
Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Unless that was a disconnect. Yeah, you're welcome to come back, though. Okay, thank you, though. Thank you. Let's see, what else is there? There's also another Tagalog dialect called Patangueño, which is apparently the original Tagalog, but it's kind of like they have a lot of verbal tics that you hear that you would like associate with Japanese and stuff. Not Japanese words, but you know how Japanese have like anime characters have these things that end to the end of sentences and stuff like that.
Like inflection. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they do
Just
that
like
naturally.
Little syllables that are like.
Yeah, they do that naturally in Batangas, which is where the Batangueño comes from. Like ala is used a lot as an interjection, but it's used in every single sentence. So it's kind of like weird. And if you listen to someone who's like super fluent,
yeah,
even people who know Tagalog won't understand a word they're saying, kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's hard to decipher because it all kind of flows into each other. But yeah, it's kind of like that.
That makes sense, though.
Yeah, but so I don't know. It's just language things.
Oh my gosh, were you gonna tell me more words from the words that were added to the dictionary?
Oh yeah,
and
sure.
I cut you off.
Sure.
Tell me more.
That's fine.
While we wait.
That's fine.
Educate me in Japanese, because I'm actually super rusty. It's been 7 years.
I'm just going. I mean, I go through my WaniKani reviews daily, and it's more like these are and I know a lot of people do the reviews once a day. I do them multiple times throughout the day because I'm a gacha gamer and I gotta get my stamina out of the way, otherwise it bugs me, kind of thing. But yeah, I think I go up a level in WaniKani roughly every 1 to 1.5 weeks, which is probably on the faster side compared to most people. So
you're on track. You're actually keeping up.
I'm on track. I think I can recognize most of the stuff I've gone through. The only things that really get me are how the heck do they want me to spell it, and how do they actually want me to translate this particular set of kanji? Because nuance wise, I get where they're coming from, but at the same time, there's some words where it's like, yeah, it does mean that, but it can also mean this if you get the nuance a certain way, kind of thing. And the nice thing is you can add like synonyms to get those nuances included. But as far as the actual way to type them, they're a little bit less flexible on that one. So like with Tokyo, how do you spell Tokyo?
Yeah.
How do you spell Tokyo?
I mean, I have an idea.
Okay,
I mean, I'm imagining it's like E's capital.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, when you type it out on the keyboard, most people.
Tokyo.
Yeah. So most people would type in Tokyo, right?
But that's not the romanization system they're using.
That is not how
you have. It's like learning a coding language. It's like, okay, Python says this is the right way. The JavaScript says this is the right way.
Well, the thing is,
who's right?
They're two
Nobody's
different languages.
Right. Yeah. So I'm assuming WaniKani uses the Hepburn system.
So the way to spell Tokyo is
EOU. KYOU.
Yes.
Because that's Hepburn.
Yes.
But I know Hepburn system like so well because we had to teach Hepburn to the kids as well. In Japan, we had to teach it to them because they wanted to spell Mount Fuji as like HUZI.
Fuji-san.
Yeah, but we established already we're not using the old system. We're using the heparin system.
What's the old system?
Oh my god, let me look it up. So even in Japanese schools, we're literally teaching the heparin system because heparin system is what's used in like JR, you know, like. Or it could be an O. If it has an O with a line on top,
yeah.
Then when you type it out, it should be OU. Yeah. But that's how the keyboard works in Japan as well.
Yeah. Can you not shortcut that with double O, or does it have to be an OU?
That's different though, because Osaka has a double O. But it's not an OU.
That's true.
It's OO.
That's true. When you say it, you do hear the double O. But
yeah. But it sounds the same. Osaka. Look, maybe if you never saw it written and someone just said Osaka, you'd be like, oh, is it like an OO or is it like an OU? But then it just becomes like, oh, the convention, or like the way that it is spelled is OO. In this system, only in this system. Let me see, like Romaji systems. But yeah, it's like a, you know, like, okay, let me ask you one thing, Ruka.
Okay.
I'm a Canadian.
Okay.
So you know this is a trick question.
Okay.
But like, how do you spell color?
You're gonna hit me with a British spelling, aren't you?
I'm gonna put a U in it, aren't I?
And I will make fun of you for it.
Yes. But it's like, in this case, it's honestly just a convention.
It's a convention.
But the hiragana are literally, in Osaka, it's literally the hiragana is O and O. But in many times when, like, usually it's an O-U.
Oh.
But it's pronounced O.
I don't think I would ever spell Osaka with an OU. It just seems weird.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, even though I say Osaka, and what's another one that has like a long O? Ronin. They both, like, Osaka's O and Ronin's O sound the same, but you know that in Osaka, the hiragana are like OO, and then in Ronin, it's like OU or OU. But you don't say OU. And so that's like one of the bullshit things about languages, where it's just like, it's a convention, and unfortunately, you just gotta memorize it, sadly.
It is. I mean, I wish there were less exceptions.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not how language works. Even with something as formulaic as Hangul. Like Hangul, if you look at the writing system, it's extremely formulaic. Holy crap.
Yeah.
But there's still exceptions within the grammar.
Yeah.
Grammar is always going to have exceptions because that follows history, that follows culture, that follows whatever the heck is happening at that moment in time for that particular place.
Oh, it was Kunde Shiki.
Kunde. Oh,
so right now the standard is Hepburn Shiki.
Yeah.
But in the past, it was Kunde Shiki.
I'm gonna guess this is like I'm guessing there's like Meiji era stuff where it was like Kunburn or something like that.
Yeah, I wonder, like, 1930.
Is that Meiji?
1930 is Kunde Shiki.
Is that Meiji? No, that's not Meiji then. When was Meiji?
I don't know. I don't know, because Meiji is like before the World Wars.
Yeah.
But like, I wouldn't be able to say like how far before the World War.
I feel like as soon as Showa, started, maybe that's when Hepburn started. I don't know. No.
Maybe. I'm a Showa kid. We're Showa kids.
We're technically Showa kids.
Kunde Shiki. So Kunde Shiki would spell like Mount Fuji like Huzi.
Is this also where the, whenever you read in Japanese, kore wa, kore ha, that kind of thing? or no?
I think that's even further back.
That's further back, and that's more like conventional.
When people like, it's kind of like how in English we have like a silent GH, you know?
The silent what?
We're like a silent GH.
Which word specifically?
Knight, a knight of the round table.
True.
Is a knigget.
Knigget. How they do say that in Monty Python though.
Exactly. And it's like, where did why is there a GH? But you have to go back like hundreds of years to be like, oh, the GH used to be like nice, you know, because English is a Germanic language.
It is a Germanic language.
It was probably freaking like knight or something. And we're like, that's hard. I'm just gonna say knight. You know, but the GH remains.
I'm glad we got away from that from so long ago. But I mean, I say this as if I had like English roots. I do not. That's just the language I speak. But I'm glad.
As if you had English what?
Roots.
Oh, you do have English roots.
No, my English roots is by language, not by heritage. That's the
oh, like
you
English
see what I mean?
in like,
you see what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
No. I'm getting into semantics. I'm getting into
semantics. Yes, semantics. According to 23andMe, I'm like 25% English, 25% German French, 50% Filipino.
Learning Japanese. How do you start learning Japanese? Things beginner Japanese you should be wary of. Never use Romanji. Never use Romanji.
Hey, you're being a little bit. You're like
no.
You're a hardcore learner. No. I used Romanji so much.
Hello, konnichiwa. Sakura. Sakura Aisu. Sakura Aisu. I guess it's that season already.
Sakura Ice.
No.
It is Sakura season. I see Sakura right across the screen from me.
A lot of people would say don't use Romanji because it will screw you up later.
It's not gonna screw you up.
Well, I mean, it's gonna make things a little bit harder, I feel like. But definitely learning your kanas, because that's the basis for everything.
Yeah.
As far as kanji goes, find the best method for you. I like wanikani. If Anki works, use use Anki. Just whatever.
You know.
Whatever gets it. Yeah. Whatever makes it easy for you. Grammar's the hard one. I don't know where to start with that.
No, grammar is the worst. I hate teaching it, and I hate learning it.
So grammar is
mostly intuitive.
Yeah, so grammar is intuitive. The best way to do that is through immersion, either listening to something. It can be your favorite piece of media. Yes, please join. Please join.
Yes.
Please join. Is the link still up? No, we're literally on the screen because we're waiting for people to join. We need at least a third person before we can start.
But also, I just love chatting with you.
Yeah,
I honestly just have fun chatting. I don't know if anyone else is enjoying this right now. I just like chatting too.
I don't know. I feel like I started getting passionate about like the whole linguistic stuff, even though it's not my expertise.
Passionate is good though. Passionate's fun. That's why I enjoy it.
I mean, it's not my expertise, but I like digging into it because it's
expertise.
It's so weird.
I'm a professional.
It's so weird.
I'm
but the thing about learning though. The thing about learning is that grammar, which is the worst part, you either learn it through immersion, from being in the place, or listening to your favorite piece of media, either radio or anime, or movies or whatnot. So there's that.
100%.
100%. You can look at stuff like Tai Kim, which is actually pretty helpful in breaking things down. I tried Bunpro. Do not recommend Bunpro, even though I paid for it. It doesn't teach you well. It's basically
Take Him is like the best though.
Bunpro,
it's just like a free like Take Him. Like Tai Kim is just like
Tai Kim is good. Tai Kim is good for a reference. Tai Kim is good for a reference. Can you learn from a reference? Yes, but would you necessarily start learning from there? I don't think it's a good idea. It's not the best way. Immersion's still the best way when to get grammar, and then you use Taikim to break it down. Why is it like this? And then you find out there's two different sets of verbs, Godan and Ichidan, and then Ichidan I think isn't so bad, but when you get to Godan, okay, how the heck do I conjugate this one, and how do I figure out which conjugation to use, because apparently there's like 15 million different endings you have to keep track of. That is fancy.
Cute bunny girl. But honestly, the number one, like, as a person who hated studying grammar and now has to teach grammar, I make them aware of the grammar that we're like focusing on, and then I just pick examples from like music. And then when and then in class, I just like try to bring it up in like conversation topics, because all you can do is just be made aware, okay, this grammar structure exists, and like you need experience to get the intuition, right?
Right.
So yeah, usually just like once we have to do it in the textbook, then I'm just like, okay, like here are a bunch of songs that I can think of. Well, because like I love music, so that's the thing I like. So I'm like, okay, here are a bunch of examples from songs where you will hear the grammar, and if it's in the chorus of the song, you will remember it.
I feel like music's one of those media that's, for me personally, hard to learn words from, especially in Japanese, just because I can barely hear them. I can't.
Well, that's why I'm presenting it to them, because it's so freaking hard to hear. But you have to like read it, I think. But like we had to study because of, and I was like, obviously Kelly Clarkson, because of you I never stray, you know, like put songs in if you know them, or like just listen for it.
Yeah,
but there's no quick fix to learning grammar, because like it's so freaking hard. It's so weird and hard.
There is one piece, there is one game / app that is currently in beta test right now for Japanese, that I took a look this past weekend, this Sunday. You can check that VOD out if you want to. It's called Wagotabi. Wagotabi is literally Japanese learning while traveling. And it's still in beta, but you can find it in Steam. You can wishlist it there. And I did try for the first couple hours of that on stream, and I am extremely impressed with it already. I will be making a review on that after this next stream coming this Sunday. I don't have a thumbnail for it yet, but there's going to be another Wagotabi stream this Sunday, so if you want to check that out, you can do that. And I'll be making a breakdown review of it later. But basically, Wagotabi is what do you call this? It is unashamedly a tourism-driven game. At its face, it's a unashamedly tourism game. However, because of that, that's what makes it good. It is immersive. Wagotabi is actually immersive because the way it teaches you, it's not like most other teaching tools out there. Like Duolingo is crap. I think we can say that already. It's not the best way to learn.
Yeah.
Wanikani is good for grammar and reading kanji, but it's not good at teaching you, what do you call it? It's not good at teaching you grammar. No, Wanikani is good for reading kanji and vocabulary. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said grammar. But it's not good for grammar. It will not teach you that.
But you know what though, Ruka?
Yeah.
I mean, like, take this with a grain of salt. But vocab is way more powerful than grammar.
It is.
Vocab is so freaking powerful. Like, people loved to dunk on remembering the kanji, the book, the Heisig method.
Yeah.
It's like literally like known as a method, which is like the Wanikani method. It's like all the Heisig method. But damn, if it doesn't like get you the things you need at the grocery store, you know what I mean? Like, and then you hear things and you're like, I know that. And then you actually like get the gist.
I feel like as soon as you learn as soon as you learn vocabulary, you can
vocab is like everything.
As soon as you learn vocabulary, grammar becomes a little bit easier.
And then you hear the grammar, you can hear how
hear it.
The vocab is put together. But if you don't know the vocab, then how can you hear how it's put together?
Right. But so let me get back to Wagutabi for a second here.
Oh yeah.
So Wagutabi is learning while traveling, and I say it is unashamedly a tourism inspired, if not driven game, because it is one of their first partners for making the game is actually the prefecture of Kagawa Prefecture, down there in Shikoku, which is one of the places almost no one goes to as a traveler.
But it's such a nice place, though.
It's a nice place, but that's such a nice place. Which is why I don't mind it. I don't mind it if it gets people visiting there eventually from playing the game. I do not mind that. It's kind of like how I watched Zombieland Saga, and it got me going to Saga Prefecture, and which I would have never given a thought to until then. But that's not the point. The point is, as far as learning Japanese, it is the most immersive piece of how should I describe it? It's the most immersive tool I have ever run into for learning a language. Because what it does is, holy crap, this AI killed me.
Oh my god, no! No, we can't let the AI win.
Okay, well, anyway, I'm gonna ignore the AI for now. Anyway,
okay.
Basically what it does is it takes you and makes you a traveler in the game, right? So, and the way it does is it kind of like makes the game into like Pokemon. Literally, that's the inspiration for how the game works. You go around collecting. Yeah, so you go around with your dictionary and a kanji dex. You see, you can see where that's going here, the kanji dex. So you go around collecting.
I am hooked.
You go around collecting vocabulary. You're going around collecting kanji and kana, but that's not the only thing. As you keep going through this game, you will run into people speaking in Japanese, and you will be forced to read it. You'll be forced to read it. There is no English help, so you will learn how to read faster. You will also learn how to read better, and they will quiz you as you go along for the stuff that you already learned. Like, how do you construct this sentence? What do you say in this situation, kind of thing.
Oh my god, the tension.
So already,
I'm having flashbacks.
so already it forces you to be immersed in that situation, and what do you call it? It forces you to be immersed in that situation and figure out, based on what you've already been taught, how to respond, how to read, and all that stuff. One example is literally when you first start the game, or at least right after you first start the game, you are thrown into immigration. They literally throw you into immigration.
Really? Been there, very stressful.
And you have to
real.
You have to go around immigration trying to find your suitcase. But there are people around that will only speak in Japanese, or at least mainly speak in Japanese first, because at that point you don't know a whole lot of Japanese.
Or they can only speak.
No, they will only.
There's no choice.
They speak in Japanese, but since you don't know a lot of Japanese at that point, they will supplement it with some English afterwards. But you're forced to read the names of these people who you're supposed to talk to find your luggage, who has the luggage, give you clues on stuff like that, that kind of thing. And according to their website, the further you get into the game, the less English you encounter and the more Japanese you will encounter. And you will also encounter the kanji and stuff. You can practice writing in the game itself. I don't know how useful that is, to be honest, but people like that, so it's there for you if you want to. I think what impressed me the most is as they introduce certain language elements, or like new vocabulary words, they will actually explain like why it's used. Like say for ha versus wa, they will explain this is how it's written as in ha, but you pronounce it wa in a sentence just because that's kind of how it's done. And they go a little bit more deeper into that, but also they explain kanji a little bit. I don't know if they will go into radicals eventually. It's probably too early in that, but they do throw some early kanji at you, like the kanji for watashi, because you run into that a lot. But yeah, check that VOD out. It's only a couple hours. I'll try to make those streams short, but I will go into hopefully enough depth in a review so you can get the gist of what's going on. But yeah, check that VOD out if you want to get a feel for it. But I feel like for a beginner, that's probably one of the better ways to do it, because it does have that immersion factor, which is lacking from a lot of things.
No! Ruka, why are you doing this to me?
I gotta get my interest from somewhere. Thank you. It's like the AI took it from me, so I have to take it from you now. Except the AI won, so I don't know how we feel about that.
Oh, it was wholly unnecessary.
I cannot choose who to target. Thank you for playing. Thank you for playing.
Yeah, thank you for playing.
But yeah, wait. If anyone else wants to join, let me put the link up again.
You know why I think it's important to write though? Because it's all well and good to say you can read something. But if you can read something, to be honest, once the memory fades of you studying that, you won't be able to read it that well. But if you can write it, even if your writing fades away, you'll be able to read it. Does that make sense? Like, if you push yourself at your peak to be able to write kanji, then even when you become rusty, you'll at least be able to read those kanji.
I think I understand where you're coming from.
But if you only ever push yourself for like, oh, I can kind of recognize it, like, you're not going to remember it as well as you remember it. Or you're not, like, 5 years from now, or like even 10 days from now, you won't remember it this well.
I get where you're coming from. I guess the best advice to that is, yes, write it. But me personally, I just find it mendokusai. I'm sorry.
I swore by being able to write perfectly, and that's why my reading got to the point it was.
Okay. If it helps, it helps. I won't say no to that.
Yeah.
It just
because if you can write it, you can read it.
True.
If you think you can read it, you might be able to read it.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, you think you can read it, but actually,
I mean, it's true. It's just all the stroke orders that gets so confusing, you know?
But if you remember the radicals, and you remember the basic rules for stroke order, you will never be confused. Because even if you find like a crazy kanji, you're like, well, I know the radicals, so I can definitely write it.
No, I recognize the radicals. The radicals are cues to how to read some of the more complicated kanji. Like you have the kanji for temple, and then depending on the radical that's attached to the side, you read it either as wait, or what's the other, hold, or poem, or stuff like that.
Exactly. Like, it's all the same, but all I'm saying is, you can read it now, but when you become rusty, will you still be able to read it? But if you can write it, then even when you become rusty, reading is no problem, because at one point you could write it. It's like how we did spelling tests as kids. Like, you remember how we did spelling tests? to like remember how to write the word friend, but it's like friend. Yeah, if we never had spelling tests, we wouldn't be able to spell it properly.
Let's see,
but we could probably read it, you know. But like most of our, I'm gonna say our nation. It's not our nation. Most of our continent struggles with reading, and I think it's because we didn't really learn reading enough. You know, so when I'm like learning a new language, I'm like, I push it. You know.
If anyone wants to like join back in the room, feel free to. I think we have enough time for maybe 1 or 2 more games, depending on how long it takes. So yeah, feel free to. I'm gonna put the link up again just in case.
하하, 나세 코코님이 혼진이요? Maybe because the time difference is really good.
It's also a Saturday we're over there.
Yeah, 도요비 나와서.
What's Saturday?
도요비 나와서 됐네. 도요비.
I never can.
이모와 하나다 또 아메리카데金曜日の夕方ですね。でも日本には土曜日の朝です。So right now it's like because of the time difference, it's like Japanese daytime. Maybe. 入ります。Oh, Sakura I said 入ります。Wait.
入ります。
節番
Coming? No, not coming. What does it mean?
Wait.
I think they're coming, right?
Become a serious
spell. Oh, I don't recognize this kanji. What's the first one?
Like Sakura Ice.
No. What's the first kanji?
Tokusetsu bango irete mo ii desu yo. It's like good if you put the number right away. Yeah, put the number. Right away.
The number is right. The number is right here.
I think people join now. I will load the game. Yeah.
Okay.
Tokusetsu ni is like right away.
There's a lot of kanji I still haven't run into, so it's like, crap, how do I read this? How do I read
Oh my god, I'm so rusty. I want to go back. I want it, like, honest to God. It would be so freaking fun. Like, if I magically had money, right, like when you had money, and then we could go together, I would totally bring my boyfriend. We would get some friends in here. Imagine a group Japanese vacation. But then if we went to the hot springs, we would still be like separated.
Well, here's the thing. When I do finally plan to get out of here, which hopefully, if not this year, then next year. If not this year, then next year. I plan to go for a full 3 months, and I have I have this itinerary already. Well, he was in the last game. He didn't seem that serious. So I'm taunting you right now.
Oh my god, yes. Hello. 100% human game.
Okay. But no,
this is what we live for.
But yeah, I plan to go for a whole 3 months, and I have this whole thing where it's mostly hiking and stuff like that. So
Are you like a super hiker? Are you super fit?
Not in the US. When I do my hiking, I do it in Japan. Did you see the few videos that I put up?
Yeah, I'm not looking. In the chat, we're just saying we're not looking at each other.
Did you see the few videos I put up I had in Yakushima when I was hiking?
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm super envious because I lived there and I never went to Yakushima.
Yakushima is kind of hard to get to anyway.
Oh my god, it's so hard to get to.
It really is.
But actually, though, it's worth it based on the visuals of the nature.
Yakushima is nice. Okay, Yakushima, really quick. Yakushima is, I want to say, less than an hour from Kagoshima, and you can really only get there by plane or by
But Kagoshima is so far as well from everything, because usually you're in the center. If you're in the center of Japan, Kagoshima itself is so far, and then you take a plane.
Well, the thing with Kagoshima is, I think there might be a direct flight from Tokyo. I'm not entirely sure, but most people will go to Fukuoka first, and then from Fukuoka fly to Kagoshima.
Fukuoka is the farthest I've made. Oh no, I went to Kumamoto.
What's the farthest south you've gone?
Okinawa.
Oh, you actually got into
Okinawa. But I flew there. Yeah,
I
flew directly. Yeah.
You have to fly to Okinawa.
Yeah,
you can't get there.
I did go to Okinawa. Okinawa is amazing.
I haven't been to Okinawa.
I did go to Okinawa.
So,
Okinawa is so cool.
Yeah, Okinawa is
the
also...
Ryukyu. Oh my god, I have had students from Ryukyu as well, and it's kind of cool because like Okinawa is a little bit different.
Okinawa is
like
basically
a bit of a different history.
Hawaii.
Yeah, it's like we weren't part of Japan, and then Japan just took us over.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ryukyu was...
The way that Hawaii is like we weren't part of the USA, and the USA just took us over, but we're here.
The thing is, I think Hawaii before the US had Hawaii, they were on their own kingdom. But I think the kingdom of Hawaii also wanted to... I'm not sure if they wanted to become part of the US.
I have heard bitter stories from Hawaiian people.
I don't know what the story is.
I have heard bitter stories of how Hawaii wants to be like...
Did they want to be part of the US, or did they just get annexed?
Oh no. They're just unluckily next to. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That is my impression.
So that's the same thing with Okinawa.
Okinawa is like we are the Ryukyu kingdom.
But I mean that's also the story with Okinawa.
Yeah. So it's like not the same as Japan, but it is part of Japan.
Like Hawaii is not really the US, but it's part of the US.
But also similarly to Hawaii, it's been occupied by US military, so there's like a double sadness.
Well,
oh my god, I'm getting dark. But like actually, it's like Okinawa is super sad about everything.
Yeah.
But they're the happiest people ever.
It is. I think the only bad part in Okinawa is the traffic. Apparently, the traffic.
Not that bad. I rented a car. It was fine.
Are you sure? I mean, I heard the traffic was absolutely terrible in Okinawa. At least it's not the same level of traffic in the mainland, which is doesn't exist. For the most part,
all I can say is I have driven through the horror story of like the interprefectural highways and expressways of Japan, and the roads of Okinawa were just like nice highways. With not as much traffic as Osaka. So what more can you ask for?
Well, I also
very nicely maintained highways, you know? It's like tourist spot, you gotta have nice highways, but it's not as bad as like a big city.
Well, the thing is they don't have the extensive train system they do on the mainland. So,
you are right.
So they need the roads. Because
I had a Japanese driver's license, I had a very easy time. If you have an international driving permit, you will have an easy time.
I drove in Yakushima.
Did you?
I did. I had to.
Are you used to driving on the left side of the road?
I wasn't, but it was't too bad. I did drift on the other the few times though, because I got distracted.
I was freaking out.
The problem with driving in Yakushima is not so much driving on the left side of the road, is that there's only one road. They only have they have one main road, and it goes all the way around the island. That is their only road. Well, there's the one main road, and of course from that main road it'll split inside the island. But the problem there is that, what is it? Yeah, I mean it takes at least 30 minutes to get anywhere, or I think
30 minutes is nothing.
Well, maybe I think no wait. Is it 3 hours to drive the entire island? I'm not sure. I think they say it's 3 hours to drive the entire island.
Okay, but to put it in context, in Okinawa, I felt like I was just driving on moderately busy freeways.
Compared to...
With no traffic jams, because no one
really?
was like... You know what I mean? Like, because on Okinawa...
Well, okay.
When I was like driving places, it wasn't like it's work day in the morning, you know, like it was like, no, you're just on the freeway. No, it's like not even as bad as your freeways, your American freeways on a work day. It was like relaxed. I thought it was okay. I thought it was fine. But like when I was driving in other cities, like through Osaka or something like that, it's like a nightmare. But in Okinawa, it's just like, okay, yeah, we do have freeways, but it's not that populated, and we're not all commuting. We're just like going somewhere. Does that make sense?
I don't know. I heard like there were like traffic jams in Naha or something. That you can literally walk somewhere faster than you can drive, but everyone drives anyway.
Am I just taking that for granted?
I don't know.
It's a normal thing.
This is literally me.
Is that bad that I just think that's like not that bad?
No, I mean this is literally...
I live in Vancouver, for context, everyone, but I take the train.
I mean this is literally me just basing it off the one YouTube video that actually does pretty decent documentaries.
Yeah.
So I don't know where you drove per se.
I was driving out of Naha, but I didn't think it was that bad.
I'll link you the video later if I can find it, but
for reference, the things I thought were horrible were like driving in Vancouver, driving in Washington DC.
DC is cramped.
Like compared to that kind of shit, this was nothing. But also, I guess people would have got impatient. I'm like in my 30s and I'm used to being in traffic jams, and I didn't think it was that bad. But I prefer places that have trains.
I do too.
But Okinawa was worth it because it was all like chill vibes.
I hear that a lot, to be honest. I hear that a lot. I do want to go to Okinawa one of these days. It's just like, when is the best time to go to Okinawa? Maybe the winter when no one else is there and it's also off season.
Go in the winter. 100% go in the winter. Like unless you want to swim. Are you like set on swimming in the ocean?
I'm more of a mountain person anyway, so.
Don't even go in the winter. Definitely go in the winter.
Holy crap, we're all not waiting on the same things. Everyone's on Tenpai. That's fun. I haven't seen that in a while.
I'm not a person who cares about beaches or anything like that, so I just go in the off season.
Do you care about okay, which do you like better, mountains or beaches? If you had to choose, or neither even. Are you more of a city person?
Part of me wants to say mountains because I'm like from the Rocky Mountain area.
Okay.
And I like that view.
Okay.
But for actual activities, beaches.
I mean, beaches are...
I like literally just want to lie around in the sun and then like flop around in the water for a little while, not seriously. Yeah. Maybe see some fish if I can.
Yeah.
And then lie down in the sun again.
That's not bad actually if the beach is not crowded.
With a crossword puzzle or a book.
If it's
not crowded. If it's crowded, I'm leaving. I'm not going to even stop.
Yeah,
seriously, I will not even go there.
I mean, the thing is, if a beach is crowded, it's not a fun experience. Which is probably my imagery of a beach. However, with the beaches I saw in Yakushima is mostly empty because not a whole lot of people go to Yakushima to begin with.
Really?
Well, maybe they do in maybe they do in summer, and there was a group of students that was there when I went in. Was it October? I want to say mid-October of last year.
I feel like that's a good time.
It's actually a pretty good time to go. The one beach I went to, Isho Beach, or was it Iso Beach? I think it was Iso Beach. Iso Beach was fairly empty. People were swimming there. There were a few diving, snorkeling lessons that happened at the same time. It's a nice place to just relax. You can actually relax on that beach.
If I go to so I grew up in lake country. We don't have beaches where I came from, and in Vancouver, the ocean is gross. I'm sorry, it's like industrial. There are beaches, but it's like I will not go in it. I grew up in lake country, and I love the lake because no one is there. Or there are people, but they're far away from you.
Yeah, there's not as many people as
it's far enough away that you can't hear what they're talking about. That's what I like. And I like to canoe. I like to kayak. I like to walk around where no one is in my space.
Yeah,
that's why I go into nature.
But the thing is, if you go to let's say Hawaii or Florida, everyone goes to the beaches. It's super crowded. I do not like it. I don't know how it is in Okinawa, but I assume in summer it's gonna be pretty busy.
Crowded, yeah.
But if in the off season, it's not gonna be bad at all.
But if you go to a private beach, if you book a hotel that has its own private beach area,
that's not bad.
Then you can have peace, but you need the money to book that.
Book the hotel, true.
Whereas back in my hometown, yeah, sure, the lake is freezing cold, but you just drive out to the lake that that is not the popular lake.
But it's still a good lake.
Yeah, there are picnic tables, but the next picnic table is far enough away from you can't hear them talk too much, and it's not if you lie down in the sand, there's no one next to you. I couldn't lie down and suntan next to somebody. I just like to be by myself.
Which is the mountains are great for that, but also as far as the mountains are concerned, it's actually a reassuring feeling to know that someone else is there, so that if something happens, there's someone there to either call for help or help you out. I don't know.
But you know what though? You know what my favorite biome is? If I can choose anything? Okay. The forest. And I will go out there alone. And I have seen black bears out there alone, and you just back away. You just back away. If you see the main thing is you keep your eyes peeled and you see them before they're too close to you. So by the time you see them, they're still really far away from you, and you just go back the way you came.
Aren't you supposed to make a lot of noise when bears are around, or
if they're attacking you? But if they're just off many meters away from you, you just get out of there quietly. Don't bother them.
No, I mean aren't you supposed to make noise so you drive them away before they get to you? Or before you see them?
I mean, I don't know. I've never done that, I guess.
I don't know. I've heard that you're supposed to make a lot of noise, but also depending on the bears, if they've had experience with people and actually getting food from people, it might backfire on you. But I think
you're right. Talk loudly. Well, if you're with friends, you talk loudly, and the bears will never come close to you.
But it's not just talk loudly. It's also I know in Japan, hikers over there will attach bells to their backpacks so that it jingles constantly as they walk. So that it alerts the bears. And when I went to Urabandai one time, I didn't know this at the time, I guess. But there was also they have these things called not five lakes, but there's ponds or something that are extremely vividly colored. Pretty nice to look at, especially in the fall, which is where I went.
I kind of want to. You should send me that info. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'll show it to you. But there's stations around there with bells that if you forgot, I guess, you can just ring them really loudly. I don't know if that actually scares bears away. I don't even know if there are bears in the area, but apparently there are if there's precautions like that.
Yeah, maybe.
But Urabandai was nice to visit around that time, though I did also visit at a time when apparently a typhoon was coming and I had to get out of there really, really fast.
Really?
I couldn't enjoy it.
Got out of there.
Yeah, this was in 2019 when Hagibis, I think Hagibis it was called at the time, was coming to Japan, and I guess it was luckily I was coming out of there the day it was arriving, but I had to take the first train out. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to get out of the Bandai area. And it was weird going through the Tokyo subway system, and all these lines were closing one by one, and when you get into some of those trains where the lines were still open, there's like no people whatsoever. It was also my first time getting into a taxi because the trains were shut down and the buses would probably have taken forever, and so I had to take a taxi to get to the, I guess, hostel, or I guess capsule hotel that I had to like stay in for the night. Yeah.
Oh, you were staying in a capsule hotel?
It wasn't really a capsule hotel. I mean, it was like a capsule bunk style hotel, but it's more like it's more like a really small bunk area. There were people who made last minute bookings because typhoon was coming and there was a mini earthquake. It was like a 3 or something. But yeah, that was an experience.
Actually though, I kind of love capsule hotels, but I don't know, like it's kind of weird. Like bunk
It depends.
bed situations are great. I'm totally fine with them. Capsules, it's hit or miss for me. If I'm like on an okay day, I can handle it.
I've been to a bunch of hostels before, but the hostels I used to go to before COVID are no longer around for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, so I used to use hostels quite a bit. I'm not sure which ones are still around, but I did try a capsule hotel in this last trip because I usually travel with other people because they want to come with me and I can't shake them off. So it's like, okay,
take them, guide them. It's so fun.
But the trade-off there is I pick the itinerary and I will take some of your wants into consideration, but I ultimately pick the itinerary. So
that is me. That I appreciate that.
And so if you want to come with
me,
this is what you have to do.
I would adapt though. Usually I'm the itinerary person, but if we were traveling together, I would be willing to adapt your itinerary.
Yeah, but the thing is, they wanted to try a capsule hotel, so it's like, okay, we'll do a capsule hotel in Tokyo for a couple of days. Where was I think it was around the Shinagawa area in Tokyo.
Okay.
And it was actually a pretty nice capsule hotel. They had so all the floors were, as most capsule hotels are, separated by gender. For some reason, there's like less female floors than male floors. I'm not sure it's because
Ruka.
Female. I mean, I feel like there's not a whole lot of women that go through the capsule hotels. It's mostly like businessmen or something.
But Ruka, I have a hot tip for your female viewers.
What's up? I have female
viewers? If you're willing to sleep, I don't know. But I am a female. As a female.
Okay.
Guys, if you're willing to put yourself in instead of the female dorm into the mixed or whatever dorm, you get a cheaper price.
I don't think there was a mixed option.
Okay.
I think they kept it separate for reasons, or maybe that's just how it was done. I think in capsule hotels they're typically separate. However, in hostels, I do know there are mixed dorms.
I have always got the mixed.
Because
it's always cheaper than female.
Because in the hostels, I was in a mixed dorm the first time. I didn't even know that was a thing, but I was in one. So.
Do you think that they market it differently?
What?
Toward men and women?
I think it's just.
I always take the mixed because if you take female, if you check you want to be in the female dorm, it's always more expensive.
I think the thing
I always check mixed.
I think the thing is that if you're a Japanese person going through the capsule hotels or hostels, I think especially for capsule hotels, it might be a safety thing. I don't know. I don't know if that's an issue. I know it's an issue in trains because chikan happens. But I don't know.
Not that much.
I don't.
Well, it's happened to me.
I don't know if it's a thing. I don't know if it's a thing that happens in capsule hotels per se, but it could be a safety thing because there's also like.
Yeah.
There's also capsule hotels or hostels that are exclusively only for women. I know there's that. So it could be because of that. But this particular capsule hotel though was pretty nice. It did have your standard setup as far as floors go. There is a common area with a bunch of manga and chairs so you can just relax in. They had like a tiny little eating area that wasn't really anything to write home about, but it's there if you want to eat. You're not encouraged to eat in your capsule, but you sneak in food if you have to, kind of thing. The nicest part about it though was their sento. They have a sento floor.
Ooh, I like it. That's always a bonus.
I always look
for.
These days, I always look for an accommodation that has at least a sento in their place, basically, because I do like getting to that steaming hot bath. It's nice at the end of the day.
I always like it. I mean, of course, I love a bath or a shower in my own room as well.
Yeah.
But if there's like a sento option or like we have a little bath, like a hot spring, quote unquote.
Yeah.
I always take it.
There are hotels.
I just like it. It's always nice. I don't know.
There are hotels with hot spring water, and typically those are the Dormy Inn hotels. For somehow they get hot spring water to their places. I don't know how, but they advertise.
To be honest,
they advertise it, and they have their certification. So I'm assuming
it's mineral water.
I mean, that's what hot spring water is. It's
but actually, like, to be honest, I don't even care about the quality of the water. I just like the big bath.
Yes, but at least with the onsen water, if you do get onsen water, it does make your skin feel a little bit different, a little bit.
It does.
So that's a plus.
You feel so silky and smooth.
That's a plus. But if you don't have that, just regular hot water is also nice to relax in because hot water relaxes your muscles, as well as everything else.
I don't know why though. I don't know why, but I kind of just like chilling in the. I don't know why. Is it just because I feel like I'm just like free or something? I like chilling in the sento. I like chilling in the bath.
I do too.
The public bath. I don't know.
I do too.
It's like nice. A little bit different from what you do at home.
It is.
It feels nice.
It's like a wide open area. Yes, it's steaming everywhere. And a lot of people will be using it at the same time, but they're all there to relax,
But have you been to some hot springs that are just like, this is the best bathing experience?
Oh yeah, I have.
Okay. Where?
And it's not. And most of the time when you think of hot springs, the onsen, most of the time you think they're attached to a ryokan, but they're not. That's not always the case. Sometimes
it's like a spa, right?
Yeah, but the best hot springs experience I've ever had, and I want to go back there again, is this one place in Hakodate, all the way up in Sapporo.
Oh,
they have a public onsen / sento. Yachigashira Onsen, I think is what it's called. I might have gotten the name wrong, but basically it is at the end of a train line, the tram line. You can also drive there. They have a gigantic parking space, and a lot of locals will go there. It's mostly locals that only go there. Actually, it's this gigantic onsen slash public sento. I think they even call it municipal onsen, but it is
probably funded by the it's probably like funded
it's
by the
gigantic.
municipality.
It is gigantic. I think there's like on the men's side alone maybe at least 40 or 50 spots where you can just do the shower bit.
Wow,
And
that's a lot of people.
and like 3 gigantic pools in the middle. I've shown it on stream before. I can show it again because they have pictures and stuff after this game. But it's a gigantic sento and probably the hottest waters I've ever been in. Like, holy crap, they must have been over 40, close to 45.
That's how you know it's legit.
Yeah.
If the oldest looking men ever in the world are there, you're like, that's your secret to
There are
to longevity.
The place was packed, not packed, but there were a lot of old people there. A lot of old people there.
Every time I've been in like an onsen, include the first time I ever went in an onsen was in Hokkaido, and it was attached to our ryokan, so limited people. But I went there at night, and it was just like me and this elderly Japanese lady, and she was doing her like biggest stretches ever. I'm not even joking, and I was just like. At first, it was like, oh my god. And then I was like, this is like where you just come to live your life. Because you don't give a fuck anymore. Oh, sorry. Pardon my French.
No, go for it.
But like,
I don't care.
old lady did not care. Like, auntie was just like stretching. She's like, the hot water is the best place to stretch. And I was like, you're right.
It is.
It is.
It is.
And of course, I had planned it to a T. So it was the season of when fireworks were over the lake. So we were just like looking at a little bit of fireworks.
Oh, was it
old grandma?
Summer or fall? When?
It was right before. It was like right before summer, and I was just about to go down to the big Tohoku festivals. It's like the Nebuta festival. I mean, it was like right before, but it was just like me and this old lady in this ryokan onsen, and she was stretching, and I was like, "Hey, I like this. I like it. You know, I'm just like in a hot tub with an old lady, and no one gives a fuck."
The catch with the ryokans is the booking is expensive, right? But it's expensive because you have the
I put down some money to be there.
You get the breakfast, you get the dinner. It's a whole affair. It's great.
Very nice food.
But if you don't want to go through all that, the one in Hakodate, the Yachigashira Onsen, is just a municipal onsen. If you just go there with you by yourself, I think it's about 500 yen per person, so it's really cheap.
Oh, that's super cheap.
But if you want to, if you don't have a towel, you don't have any bathing supplies, then you can like get it from them. I think it goes up to 1,500 yen, all that included. Which is still not
cheap,
bad.
Though it's like $10,
which is not
for like Look, if you just think of it as like if I were in Canada and went to the spa to feel this way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, of course, if I went to the spa here, you know what I mean? Like, it would be like $100 immediately.
It's true,
minimum.
because I think the spa.
But you just like.
Well, the thing with the
spa
spa
is.
is.
Go to the onsen and you're like, I feel amazing.
The thing with the spa is, it's not just you don't get a bath at the spa. The spa includes a massage, so you have the massage therapist or whoever's in there.
Yeah,
so that adds to the cost.
I know, yeah, but like here we have nothing in between.
No, you don't.
Here you're either putting down money, like putting down like a decent amount of money to be pampered, or you're not doing anything.
I would rather just go to the onsen.
But in Japan, you can just go to the onsen for like pretty cheap, and you're like, oh, it's like not like a full spa day, but like, I am at a spa in a way.
You
know.
I mean, you don't. I mean, There are,
and you just feel great. I don't know.
There are like onsen / spas where you can get the massage service, and the massage service will cost you the amount you expect it to cost you.
Yeah.
And like the longer you do it, the more you charge. But oh wow. Okay.
And I thought is the Tsar.
And I thought we had to worry about Sakura Aisu-san, but no, we have nope. It's Akasar. Congratulations again.
I am not surprised that I'm down here. Very well played.
Okay, that's the last game for today. Thank you for joining. But we're still gonna be talking for a little bit because I want to show this onsen that I went to. I found it.
Ruka, do you mind if I just like pop out for like 1 second?
Yeah, sure.
1 minute.
I am gonna show the onsen really quick because I really want to show this. So,
okay, but please keep it up. Keep it up, but I'll be right.
Okay. Oh wait, I think I need to adjust this. All right. So Yachigashira Onsen. This is in Hakodate. It's a pretty old. It's a pretty old place. If you look at it from the outside, this side doesn't really show its age, but this you can kind of see how old it is. And I came from the back of this place, and I saw more of the aged wear and tear from the outside. But this is a very popular spot for people to go to just relax, and it's busy all the time. There's always, you see this parking lot? That's only a small portion of the parking lot. The parking lot is gigantic. Thank you again, Alsan. Thank you again. We will be doing Mahjong every 2 weeks here, unless I'm busy doing something else. So just keep an eye on that. Yeah, just keep an eye on that. If you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, you should be able to get notifications for that. But otherwise, yeah, Yachigashira Onsen. I went here. When was this? I want to say the beginning of November last year, and this didn't even show up on any travel guides or anything like this. I just kind of found it on the Google Maps, just trying to see what was around, and I saw this place as I was like looking for places to visit around the area, and it's like, oh, okay, it's an onsen, but I didn't realize how big it was. I didn't look at any pictures until I got there. I didn't try any food because I was sick at the time, didn't really have much of an appetite. But the bath area, I think they have a picture of the bath area here. The bath area is, oh, that doesn't really show it. This is I think this is they have an outside bath, so they have a rotenburo as well as an inside bath. I'm trying to see. Oh, here's the inside. Here's the inside of the onsen area. You see how gigantic it is?
Oh yeah, it's the golden water.
Thanks for joining us, guys. Yeah, if you didn't get a chance to play, we will do it again in a couple of weeks. But yeah.
Oh, the cats.
Yeah, the cats. I'm sorry we couldn't get you.
You next time.
Oh, FYI, I need to make an announcement right now. The next Mahjong night will be, well, I guess it technically will be the last Mahjong night for this month. But
yeah,
I will be going on a trip after the next Mahjong night. So the 2 weeks after that, I won't be around. So
where are you going? What are you doing? Who are you going with? I want to know everything.
I will be leaving at the end of the month, starting from April 28th. And I will be coming back by May 10/11. So I'll be gone for about 2 weeks. It might be a little bit, maybe a few days until I can start streaming again after that. But I'll tell you everything about it afterwards. But yeah, it's just a random trip that just got decided. Basically a drop of a hat, but I will be going back to Hakodate for a little bit to check some things out that I wasn't able to do last time because I was sick.
Wait, you're going to Hakodate?
I'm going to Hakodate. I'm also
in like 2 weeks. In 1 week. In 2 weeks.
Well, I'll be there for like a few days. I'll be in Japan for roughly a week, but I'm mainly in the Hakodate / Sapporo area. But I'm also going somewhere else before then. That's gonna be a secret until I get back. So just something to look forward to when I get back.
But I want to know.
No, that's a secret for later. That's a secret for later.
I'm so nosy.
No.
I love to know what all my friends are doing.
Well, I'm showing you what I did last time. This place.
Okay.
I
like this bath. I want to bathe in this
You
bath.
see how gigantic it is? Do you see what I'm talking about? It's
okay,
huge.
you know what, guys? You know what? Okay.
This is the best onsen I've ever been in.
I have a split feeling about onsen because I love... Okay, let's say this is the girls' area.
It will look exactly the same. It will look exactly the same as this. This is the guys' area, but it will look.
But you know what, though, Ruka?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not exactly the same.
Okay.
Sometimes the access is. But anyway, that's not my point, though.
Okay, go.
Because I love hanging out with my girls, and like. I have gotten used to hanging out with people naked. It took a long time. It took a while. But also, I have many guy friends. And we had one trip where, like, my friends, a couple, were coming to visit me. And then we had to send him off on his own. And he had to be all alone.
Okay.
I mean, not all alone. Like, you know, it had to be like, bye, go to the guy's side. And, like, we will be on the girl's side. But it kind of sucks that you like, okay, but I would not want to be naked. I would like to be wearing a bathing suit. So it's like, this is my dilemma. So in a Western hot spring, you wear like a bathing suit.
Yes.
And you can hang out with everyone.
Yes.
But in Japan, you're not allowed to wear a bathing suit.
No, you're not. There are mixed bathing.
I mean,
in certain places, I think mainly in Tohoku. I don't know if anywhere else that does this, but it's mainly in Tohoku for some reason or another. There are mixed bathing areas that, attached to the ryokans. This one.
But are people like wearing their bathing suits?
No,
or
of course not.
Are they naked?
Of course,
I don't want to see you naked, dude. I would love to hang out with you, but I don't want to hang out with you naked.
You're gonna see the I think it's mostly.
But I would like. But this is what I'm saying. Like, I like the nudity, freedom, and like not worrying. But at the same time, I don't want to see my guy friends naked.
It is the onsen. Kind of like everyone is naked. You're gonna see grandpa naked.
But I have never been naked with a grandpa because I've never been in the male side. And I don't want to be in the male side. And I don't want to, you know what I mean?
Unless
so part of me is like, can we just wear bathing suits and like hang out together? But you can't.
If they're particularly ballsy, I will just say this. If the grandpa is particularly ballsy, they will be covered up for the most part. I think most of the time I've seen, at least even on the guy's side, they're covered up.
No, I have just heard so many I have just heard so many like grandpa stories.
I mean,
but at the same time, like
it probably happens, but I mean it you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, look at this. It's great.
So it's amazing. But like when those friends came, and when they were like visiting me, I booked us a ryokan
with
that
a private
had like
bath.
Private bath.
Okay. Is it a small bath or a big
together?
bath?
It's a small one. So it's like your family like literally can lock the room when they go in.
Sure.
And there's a light. Like there's like, it was so sophisticated. Like there was a light showing like to let everyone know like this room is unavailable at this time.
Yeah, I mean you can do that.
Yeah. So at least they could bathe together then. And I have like been able to bathe with partners when there's like a private thing. But like other than that, if you just want to chill with friends, if you're a woman, you can only chill with your girlfriends, and if you're a man, you can only chill with your man friends.
Unless you
and
go
that
to
is
a
my
place,
only regret.
Unless you go to a place with mixed bathing, and then everyone chills together.
No. It is so rare though. You have to believe me though that it is like the rarest thing, and I've never seen it. Like it is the kind of thing you have to look up online to find a place.
No.
Because if you just go to a normal place, you and your male friends will be separated.
Nyuto Onsen has several ryokan there. I think I went to Kuryu the one time I went to that place. They have a mixed bathing area. I didn't go there myself. But they do have.
I also don't want to see my male friends naked. I'm sorry, my friend.
It's part of the bath. Okay. You're staring at the wrong place. I guess also we'll be staring at the wrong place. Okay, never mind.
That's like a next step. But I'm sure like when we're all in our 40s, we'll be like, who?
I don't think I want to see you naked in your 40s, to be honest.
No, I don't want to see you naked either, my friend. I adore you. I love playing Mahjong with you. Yeah. I don't necessarily want to see you naked. It would be nice to have a bathing suit option. But you're not allowed to wear anything.
What if I get fit enough to where it's not awkward?
Then it's even more awkward.
Is it?
Then you're like, damn, Ruka got fit. And then you're like, oh shit. I swear to God, I was just innocently noticing that he got fit. And like now it became like, no, there would be, I don't know what is correct. Like the Canadian option is bathing suit. Like we treat hot springs like a swimming pool.
Yeah, you don't.
So everyone goes in the same way, but it's hot.
Okay,
that's all.
if you want that, I guess, where is that? Switzerland? Is it Switzerland? Finland?
I went to literally Spa.
Iceland?
I went to this city called Spa. Belgium. Which is where like the idea, like, and we just like went in with our bathing suits and no one cared, like, because we're just in our bathing suits. But I will say it's not the same vibe.
It's not. The Japanese vibe is very different.
The like onsen vibe is just so good because when you go into the hot spring in Canada, it's like you're in a family swimming pool and all the children are there and you're like, God damn it, get out of here.
Yeah.
That makes me sound cynical. But in the Japanese onsen, you're just like, we're just a bunch of women who want to bathe and it feels so nice.
I have seen children
in
the onsen before. I have seen children in the onsen before.
Yeah, like they're little kids, like little boys are always in the.
Well, no. The thing is,
I've seen many little like children.
Yeah, so in the guy's bath, I think there was a dad that was there with his two kids, one boy, one girl, and this guy talked to me because he noticed I had a Beppu towel. I went to Beppu before.
Beppu is so good, you guys. Ruka.
I did not try an onsen in Beppu. I did try one in Yufuin, which is next to Beppu, but not in Beppu itself. So
did you enjoy Beppu though?
I feel like the time I spent in Beppu was not the time I expected to spend in Beppu because I was traveling with someone. They wanted to see the sights. I wanted to do something else, but we saw the Hell Springs, which to me is a tourist trap, to be honest. But they're nice. It's nice to see a couple of them. I wouldn't go see all 7 of them. I feel like that's a tourist trap. But we did it anyway.
I saw like 2.
But we did it anyway.
Also, I was buried in sand.
That was not available.
And I was staying at a ryokan with a private hot spring, and it was so good.
I want to do the sand.
It was really fun.
I want to do the sand thing, but the facilities were closed.
No,
so I couldn't do it.
Really?
No, yeah. So we went to the park next to it, and the park was really nice. It was wide open. There's plenty of places to walk, and we even went to like another park, like 30 minutes down, where they had a long pier. Didn't go all the way down to the pier because it was getting late, and they actually have a gate that they close apparently, so I had to get out of there before they did that.
Yeah.
But the actual sand bathing area, I tried to see if it was open, but no, I think it was closed down for renovations for the next 2 years or something.
Yeah, I think I booked it. I think I booked it ahead of time.
Yeah, so the only place that I know of that has the sand baths are not in Oita Prefecture. They're all the way down in Ibuski, which is where the main sand baths that most people think about are.
Oh, I just got buried in sand.
Yeah, I wanted to do that, but they didn't have it in Beppu. So
okay, I totally did there, but I think it was just not available because Japanese people book their vacations a year in advance minimum.
No, I do that same thing.
That is my theory. Like, everyone is freaking like booking things like crazy. It's so freaking hard to book things.
I mean, and now you also have 1 million plus tourists also to fight against for those bookings too. But no, the facilities were just under renovations. So if you go to Japan anytime soon, you can try checking to see if the ones in Beppu are open, but I'm pretty sure they're down for a while. But the park next to it is pretty nice, so you can do that. You can still see the sand bathing area next to the park. But if you actually want to get buried in sand, you have to go down to Kagoshima, and from Kagoshima take a train down Ibuski, and in Ibuski that's where you can get buried in sand. But it's a long way to go just to get buried in sand. But it's probably
I was buried in Beppu.
Yeah. Beppu's nice.
It just depends on your. Also.
Yeah.
Monkeys.
I'm not a fan of monkeys.
There was the monkey park. Oh, you're not?
I'm not.
I just think they're so cute. I love monkey parks.
No, the thing about monkeys are they're wild, right? The monkeys are wild. They roam around everywhere. And the reason why the parks are made...
That's why they're so intriguing, though.
The parks are made to keep them away from people. Down below the mountain. That's why they're there.
It's not the monkeys' fault.
No, it's true. But the thing is, if you go visit the monkeys and you look at them wrong, they will attack you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, see what I mean? That's the reason why I don't like monkeys.
But that's like hilarious because you're like, oh yeah, I get it. Okay, you're intelligent enough that you don't deal with my bullshit.
It's fine, but the thing is, when the troop leader sees you and sicks everyone on you, that's a bad time. I don't want to be in that guy's path.
That's that's when you experience when you're like, oh, as a human, I'm an intruder.
I mean, if you really want to find monkeys and actually interact with them, the closest you can probably do it is in Arashiyama. They actually have the waiting area with the wire around the waiting area, so you can actually feed them and whatnot.
Oh, I go to like every monkey park I can.
Do they have a place
where you can... monkey parks?
Do they have a place in Beppu that you can interact with them, or is it just out in the open?
Yeah. You can interact with them.
I wanted to go there, didn't have enough time.
In Kyoto, it's like a cage where you can't it's like a lot of people.
Yeah.
And there's just like a cage, and it's like give your thing to the monkey and get the fuck out.
But
when
reference,
you go to Beppu, you're like the
cage.
monkeys rule this mountain, and you can see how the monkeys are like wild. And to me, that's really interesting.
Yeah, I think if you want to get the best monkey experience, you go down to Beppu. But if you want to be in a safe monkey experience, go to Arashiyama near Kyoto. You're the one in the cage, by the way.
Oh, Arashiyama, yes. That's the one.
Yeah, you're the one in the cage, by the way. The monkeys are outside.
You are the one in the cage. You are the one in the cage. But in Beppu, it's just like, good luck. Don't make them mad.
Don't make them mad. Don't stare at them.
That's what I like. I totally was taking pictures, and the monkey got pissed.
Oh, they don't like that?
And I was like, oh my god. Like, they swung at my friend.
Oh, they don't like that, huh?
No, they don't. So you like think you're looking at your phone.
Yeah.
So you're not making eye contact, but actually, like, to them, you're like looking at them.
Because the camera is still pointed at them, so they know.
Yeah, they're like, I see you, and I fucking hate this.
Okay.
But it's hilarious, though. That's what makes it funny.
No, you know what's funny? And
I like chaos.
You know what's funny and actually kind of fun? Is getting headbutted by the deer in Nara.
I have never been headbutted by a deer in Nara.
I haven't either.
I kept those guys down. My brother was climbed up upon by a deer. I think the hooves can be... the hooves, they just like climb up. They climbed up on his leg. with their hooves. And actually, when you think about it, hooves are sharp objects.
I think? I'm not sure. Are they?
Yeah, but I mean, he was fine. He thought it was funny.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, like, the deer in Japan are so small that you think it's cute and funny.
Until they headbutt you.
But actually, they're wild animals.
I mean, there's a lot of wild animals. The one wild animal you don't want to run into are bears because they will kill you. Yeah. So...
oh my god, I just gave a talk to my students about how I've like encountered bears a million times and have always been just blasé. But okay guys, in Canada, black bears are everywhere.
Are they?
Not in Vancouver. In my town though.
I thought
in
they would
Prince
be in
George.
Vancouver.
They are. They do come upon the suburban areas, but like when I was growing up, black bears were just normal. And now everyone's like, we're about like have bear spray, but I have never done it. And I've always just like backed away from a bear calmly and been fine. But I wouldn't recommend it.
It's best to do that.
Like this is Canadian girl. This is like country Canadian girl experience. Don't do it.
Yeah. On the 3-month trip I mentioned, I do the first part of the trip is like going through all the national parks in Hokkaido. That's the one thing I really want to do, but I can't stay for too long in any of those places, otherwise bears, you know.
But why? Okay.
Yeah.
But why are you okay? Well, what do you mean?
No, I mean like
because you just take precautions. Like whatever you're doing, you just take precautions and you'll be fine.
Well, the thing is, I want to hike in these places, but I can't hike for too far, and these national parks are gigantic. So, and I'm gonna be.
I would say Hokkaido has less bears than Canada.
Well, but the thing is,
I may be wrong. But,
well, the thing
but I don't want you to get killed.
Well, the thing is also, most of the bears in Japan are in Hokkaido.
But how many bears are there? I'm so blasé.
In the thousands?
I'm so blasé because I grew up with bears digging through my trash.
Well, in the thousands. So, in the thousands, and there have been reports of them killing people in the recent years. So there's that. So I'm a little wary about that.
But is it worse than where I live?
I don't know.
That's what I wonder.
Here's the thing.
And I'm like, but actually,
you have black bears. You have black bears, which are small bears. They have brown bears. That's the worst bears.
We also have brown bears.
But the brown bears are bigger and more aggressive.
Yeah.
So that's the difference.
Does Hokkaido really have brown bears?
They do.
We have brown bears, but they never come around.
No, but they do have brown bears, and there's a gigantic concentration of brown bears in Hokkaido, mainly in the forest areas, mainly in the park areas, but also you don't want to be there during summer because they're up and about. So go there in the fall or winter when they're slower, but still up and about. So be careful.
Sounds kind of bad. Okay, brown bears are pretty big.
Yeah. So no black bears in Hokkaido as far as I know of. Black bears are typically in Tohoku though. But I haven't run into them, and if you run into them, they're usually easier to deal with. But brown bears, stay far away as you can from them.
If you see a black bear, get away slowly.
Yeah.
If you see a brown bear,
get
away slowly, but also be more afraid.
Never run.
Never run. You back away, chill, like you're not gonna do anything to them.
Yeah, never run. If you have to do something, curl up in a ball if they start attacking. That's the best thing you can do. Because what else can you do at that point? I think the other thing you can do is bop them in the nose really, really hard, and that should make them back away. But otherwise...
But you know what, though?
Yeah.
This is what makes me afraid. I honestly would never go into the forest making a bunch of noise. So like when I hear about people like having a bell in their backpack, I'm like, you are making animals nervous.
I think though that's what...
Whereas if you just are silently walking, like
No,
my MO is to silently walk, to be as quiet as possible. So like to me, and then like if something attacks you, you like make a huge noise, like banging two pans together. But like what? Like to me, it sounds like really scary to like have a bell on me, because then it just like makes everything anxious.
I
don't know.
I think the reason for that is to alert the animals in the area so that they stay away from you. They know humans are there. They associate that with humans. And
yeah, but if you have a bell, you're like, be afraid of me. But if you're silent, you're like, don't worry about it.
No, but the thing is, if you're silent, they don't know you're there. I don't know. I think.
But they do, because they see you.
Well, here,
like,
okay.
I don't know. I'm speaking as a person who hiked in the northern Canadian hills.
Here's the thing, though.
And it has just like backed away quietly from every animal. Every animal has been like, okay.
I mean, here's the thing, though.
I'm not a threat. I'm not a threat.
I don't know if the bears in Canada behave differently from the bears in Japan. They're two different environments with two different, with like two different groups of bears that may think a little bit differently and how behave differently. So, what works in Canada may not work in any other places. Do not take any, advice from us. Just know whatever they say, whatever they say in the parks, follow that. And from what I know, mostly in Japan, they recommend making noise. So that's their usual recommendation, but it might be different depending on the park. So just FYI there.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, we are gonna have to end for the day. I still have work tomorrow, so I need to get ready for that. Anyway, thank you for joining, Amy. Also, thank you everyone for joining tonight, listening to us, and also playing if you did play. Again, we'll be doing this again in a couple of weeks. Amy, are you going to be here to talk again next week? I mean, you're welcome anytime, by the way, to do this.
Wait, but not next week, 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from now. Next week, actually...
I will be.
Next week, we will have a talk with someone who has been to Japan recently, and I kind of want to get their take on their first time experience. Hopefully they're well by that time. I do know they got COVID after they came back, so I'm not sure how long it takes to recover from that, so we'll see. We'll see if they're up for it.
I mean, like, it could be variable, I guess, yeah. But we will be back 2 weeks.
Well, we will be back in 2 weeks. If they're sick next week, then we'll do something else. Probably more Bakery Girl, because I need to get through as much of that as possible before I go on my trip. So.
Okay, wait. You just said Bakery Girl.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen your streams.
So okay, don't worry.
Can you summarize it in like one moment? Can you summarize what Bakery Girl?
Despair.
Yeah. Huh?
Despair. And suffering. Lots of it.
I was expecting like a wholesome... Okay.
Yeah, look at this. Look at my live section.
Oh my god!
and see what the usual streams have been recently. That's what it is. It's called Reverse Collapse, but also known as Bakery Girl. But anyway, that's up. Anyway, yeah, if you want, also, I guess I'll be back in a couple of days. We'll be doing Wagotabi Part 2, checking more of Wagotabi. If you want to get an idea what that is about, you can either tune in then or check the VOD from last time. I should have it in a section down below for Japan things. There should be a playlist on the main page of the channel if you want to check that out. Other than that, I don't think I have anything else I need to mention. I think that's it.
Come back and play with us.
Come back and play with us in a couple of weeks, or join me in a random stream before then. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you all again for coming, and we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ruka. Bye.
Bye-bye.